Hey Fast Life fam, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Shelly and I'm an RN turned health and wellness coach, and I help people lose weight and get healthy with alternate day fasting. And in today's video, I'm answering some of your top ADF questions. So if you're new to ADF, maybe you're on the border and you're considering it, or maybe you're a seasoned ADFer, stay tuned because I have something for you. And check out the links in the description box to sign up for our free weekly email newsletter and get your alternate day faster starter guide and join our Facebook group. And if you get some value from today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe to join the Fast Life family, and drop a comment or emoji below. I love to hear from you. And one last thing, I have something exciting coming your way soon. I'm going to be dropping a 57-page comprehensive alternate day fasting guidebook where I share my exact strategies, tips, all the info you need to get started and stay consistent with ADF. So if you're someone who just wants to go at your own pace, the information will be there for you with some real actionable tips you can start taking right away to get started with ADF and stay consistent. All right, now let's get into some of those questions. Okay, so the big question, the one you're most likely wondering if you're new to alternate day fasting, you're looking to get started and you're wondering, what is it? So in a nutshell, alternate day fasting means completing an alternate day fasting cycle. So a 36-hour fast, specifically every other day. And you can choose a schedule that works with your life. You can do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Use those as your fasting days. You can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you would complete a 36-hour fast on those days, or you can reverse it. So every other day you are not eating food, you're drinking water, you're drinking 0-calorie drinks, preferably eliminating the sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, but 0-calorie drinks. I've had some 0-calorie drinks and it didn't compromise my results. So essentially, you're fasting for 36 hours every other day, and it's flexible to fit the days that you choose that align with your life. So for instance, let's say someone chose Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday as their fasting days. So Monday you would eat, and then you would just go into that next Tuesday you would fast, and then the Wednesday you would eat, Thursday you'd fast, and then Friday you eat, and then Saturday you would fast. So you'll be making sure that you're getting in that 36 hours of fasting and you feast until you're full. And if ADF, the idea of doing a 36-hour water fast seems impossible to you, maybe you're just getting started on your health journey, your weight loss journey, just know that it's something that can be done. I've done it, and many of us in the community are successfully doing it, losing weight and seeing the health results, increased energy, fat burning, decreasing the joint pain was a big one for me. So there's so many health benefits, and just know that you don't have to do it all at once. That was a big mistake that I made starting off, and I just wasn't able to stick with it initially because I wanted to do everything all at once, and I was just making it so overly complicated for myself. So when I troubleshooted, the problem was just change one little thing at a time, gradually work your way into alternate day fasting. So the 36-hour fasting, I didn't just jump straight into not eating on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can do it. I'm sure there's some of you who've tried it and you've been able to do it. My recommendation would just be to work your way up to it. You're building the habits, the systems, you're laying the groundwork for success. What I did initially is I started eliminating processed food, junk food. I was big on eating out. I was big on DoorDash. I was big on takeout, anything really, especially junk food. So the first thing was slowly weaning off the eating out, the ordering the DoorDash little by little. And that took a couple of weeks just to get control of my dining and dashing habits. And then what I started doing is going through my pantry, the cabinets, eliminating all these crackers and cookies and chips. Yes, I used to eat all of those things. And so I started gradually getting rid of those things. Now I do have teenagers and I didn't want to punish them. Now I don't buy those things because I know it's not good for me. It's not good for them. And there's always going to be a healthier and even a lot of times a more tastier alternative to those things. So now I don't even get them. But before, it was hard. It really was, because not only are you thinking like, oh my God, I love to eat those things, but you're also now thinking, wow, I've already, purchased these things. I brought the groceries, the crackers, the cookies, all of these things are in the house. Now I'm just supposed to throw them away and waste money. So some of the items I did, but other things I let my children finish it up, and we don't get them anymore. So gradually start getting rid of those things that you probably know intuitively are not helping you reach your health and your weight loss goals. And that takes some time as well. And so once you can get rid of those things, now you can start substituting even at the same time with a healthier alternative. So for instance, when I had my crumble cookie phase, I always say crumble cookie. Maybe you're there too. You have your crutch too, the thing that you turn to when you need a little bit of comfort, a food item, which for me was a big thing. The emotional eating and grabbing the wrong things to comfort myself instead of going for a walk or meditating or, reading, doing something relaxing. But back to the point, go through your pantry and get rid of those things. So if I have a sweet craving, I could have a little bit of fruit instead. If I have a craving for, let's say, ice cream, maybe I can have a Greek yogurt with berries and chia seeds, and I can crush up a little bit of pecans on top to give it some pizzazz and a little bit of protein. So there's always going to be a healthier alternative. And sometimes I put in cocoa powder in there as well, just to make myself feel as though I'm having a little dessert. And then fuel up on those things, those healthy whole foods. I always say that, but that has been the biggest thing for me that I believe, in addition to alternate day fasting, is what helped me lose weight and see results. And I'll just be honest with you, sometimes it may be presented like, oh, okay, ADF is a magic fix. The results do come because by default, you're not eating 3 of those days. So unless you're, really piling on the calories, 3 and 4 and 5,000 calories on the days that you are eating, I really can't see you not losing the weight on the alternate day fasting. Now, if you want to get the best results, not only weight loss, but health impact, you want to see results quicker, and you just want to take care of your health in a way that's going to set you up for living, life to the fullest, longevity, sustainability, overall health, not just rapid weight loss, then cleaning up your diet with healthy whole foods is the way. And that's the way that I have been able to do it. So once you get rid of the junk, focus on the healthy whole foods, the healthy, fats, avocados, walnuts, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, pistachios, whatever nuts that you like. I usually do walnuts, pecans. I do some macadamia nuts. I also have to watch myself on those too, because they go down easy. So I portion mine out. But those things, avocado, the oils that I use, I started eliminating the seed oils. And I grew up on vegetable oil, canola oil, all of those things. But now I primarily use extra virgin olive oil. I do avocado oil, and then I do some coconut oil as well. And you can also use things if you're buying like ghee, which is like a clarified butter, or even butter or beef tallow. So there's so many other options that are going to be a lot healthier than the seed oils, which lead to inflammation in the body. So just gradually start cleaning up your diet, and then substitute sweet stuff. Grab a fruit, add more fibrous vegetables, leafy greens, arugula, spinach, and it just really depends on how your body tolerates everything. So I will say that everyone's body is different, your process is different, your cultural diet is different. So I'm calling out foods that I eat, and you can find a substitute that works for you in your everyday life. But the whole concept is the same, and I think we all know it. Leave the junk food alone and eat real food that grows from the ground or on the tree, not in a package with a bunch of ingredients that we can't pronounce. So you'll do the leafy green vegetables, the nuts, healthy fats, protein, steak, ground beef, chicken. I don't do a whole lot of pork, but that's also an option too. Any protein that's going to fill you up and provide those nutrients, and protein keeps you fuller. I like the ground beef, reasonably priced. You can get that. You can make so many things with it. Very easy to cook with. Steak. I do some chicken breast. I used to do a lot of chicken thigh, but honestly, the chicken breast, you get that protein punch, and then you're good to go. You don't even have to worry about the extra skin and what they're plumping the chicken up with, and if that's coming through on the skin. But any protein you can get. I love salmon and other fish, canned tuna, sardines. So all of these things are going to help keep you full, satiated, and when you get that fiber, it helps you stay even more full. And when you cut out the refined sugars, your blood sugar levels stabilize so much. That's a big one. So getting the insulin levels low, getting the blood sugar levels low are going to help decrease your cravings while you're alternate day fasting, and it's going to help set you up for success the next time that you're fasting. Next big thing is that you can gradually start increasing your fasting window. And initially starting off, I tried intermittent fasting where I had an 8-hour eating window, 16-hour fasting, and I gradually increased from there. So I went to more of a 24, so 4 hours to eat, 20 hours to fast. And then from there, I did something like an OMAD, 1 meal a day, where I had my one meal, heavy protein, healthy fats, tiny bit of carbs, mostly coming from the veggies and some fruit, but cut out all the refined stuff. And so I was able to do that, eat that meal in about an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. It doesn't even have to be perfect. The whole thing is just gradually getting to that point where your body is physically ready to try the alternate day fasting. So slowly but surely get your fasting window a bit longer and longer. So from that OMAD, then I was able to do one 36-hour fast. And that first day wasn't perfect. I ended up eating like 500 calories, and you can actually have up to the 500 calories. Some people do that. If you are going to have a snack, just have something that is protein and healthy fat, and that's going to keep your insulin levels, blood sugar levels low. It's going to allow you to get right back into the fasting and the fat burning. So that first fast, I consider it still successful. I'd never done a 36-hour fast before, so that was fine. And then that next fast, I drank a little bit more. So big one is hydrate. I do about 120 ounces, give or take, of water, herbal tea, black coffee. So from there, I was able to finally do my first 36-hour fast. And from there, I was like, oh my, I can really do this. And so I attempted another one. And that third day on that first week, I had a little 500 or maybe 600 calorie snack. It happens. That first week was all about just proving to myself that I can take that leap and get into alternate day fasting. You don't have to expect to be perfect right off the bat. You really just have to get started. And the more you do it, the better you become at getting into your fasting mode, and you actually look forward to it. So that second week, I was able to do 3 successful 36-hour fasts, and from there just kept going. So slowly but surely, you can work your way up to alternate day fasting. Set yourself up for success is the biggest thing, and then hydrate. And I personally add electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and that helps me to feel energized on days that I'm fasting, and helps with headaches. And if you get a feeling where you're just feeling tired and you're really struggling, sometimes it's an electrolyte and a hydration issue. So those are the big ones on how to get started with alternate day fasting. Another burning question that I get asked a lot, and that many of you may have, especially if you're starting off and you're questioning, okay, is this really worth it? Is it going to work? Is how fast will I see results? And from personal experience, I will say it doesn't take long. Within that first week, I saw 5 pounds come off. But the biggest thing was my face. My face was super bloated starting off. And within a week, not only had I lost 5 pounds, but I could see it. I could look in the mirror and see like, wow, my face is really gone down. It used to look inflated, inflamed. And so that was a big one. And then by that second week, I dropped another 5 pounds, and I noticed that my stomach bloating had gone down, and I started to feel a little bit better. I'll be honest, that first week was really, really tough. But by that second week, I started feeling a lot more confident in myself, like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then truthfully speaking, when you see the scale move, it does motivate you. Now, I do want to say that it's important to recognize the non-scale wins. With alternate day fasting, a big one is repairing those cells. That's what's happening at the internal level with fasting. The longer you go without food, your body has a chance to heal, recover. You go through something called autophagy, where your cells are recycling, repairing. Your body is getting rid of the toxins that keep you inflamed. And so all of this is happening. So yes, you will see the weight loss on the scale, but a big one is the internal things that are happening, the stabilization of your hormones, insulin, which tells your body to store fat. It helps your cells utilize sugar as well. So those big hormones, leptin, ghrelin, all of those things, cortisol, your stress hormones, it's a whole big picture that even though we can't see it, we don't have the microscope, it's been researched and shown that fasting heals and repairs your body. And that is why it is such a great tool. And then it helps your body tap into your own ability to burn fat. The longer you go without the food, you start using your own body's fat stores. You become more efficient at using your body's own energy. And that is why myself and many of you have mentioned that you feel re-energized with fasting. Maybe not at first because your body's adjusting, but once you get into that fat burning mode, you look forward to fasting. It feels like a treat for your body, giving your body a nice reset, and then you actually feel energized. I know my mood improved with alternate day fasting, so there's so many benefits on top of the weight loss, but short answer is lock in, commit to at least the 2 weeks, and I feel confident that you will see some results within that time. And that helps keep you motivated. It gives you that confirmation that you're heading in the right direction. And 3 weeks, a month, by the first month, I mean, I would be highly, highly shocked if you didn't have some results within the first month. But even within the first 2 to 3 weeks, you can still see the benefits of ADF. Another big one that I hear a lot is I was losing weight super quick in the beginning with ADF. The weight was just melting off, and now it seems like it's slowing down. What's going on? Is this normal? And yes, it happens. In the beginning, the weight loss does come off pretty quickly. It did for me. That first month, 20 pounds alone, and some of you have seen rapid results as well. And we touched on it in a few minutes ago. If you are starting off at a heavier weight, you do tend to lose that weight a bit quicker in the beginning. And a lot of times that's because not only are we carrying the weight, and our bodies take a lot more calories to move, to fuel a bigger body. And so then you drastically cut those calories. Of course, you're going to drop that weight. But for anyone in general, initially with the weight loss with ADF, your body is healing internally, getting rid of toxins. So you're getting rid of waste that way. You're burning through your glycogen stores, which is your body's way to store excess sugar in the form of glycogen in the liver and your muscle. So we're burning through those sugar stores, the leftover glycogen, before our bodies can even tap into our own fat to burn for fuel. And then your body is regulating hormones, decreasing the inflammation. So you're getting rid of a lot of things, the water, the toxins, you're decreasing your calories. So it's like a shock to the system. And again, if you're starting at a heavier weight, chances are you'll see that weight drop off. And if you're new to ADF, in the beginning, that first couple of weeks and month or 2, maybe even 3. For me, I saw consistent weight loss throughout those first couple of months, but the first month was the one that I lost 20 pounds, and that was what really got me. I said, oh, I'm sticking to this. There's no way that I'm gonna give up on this now. So you do see that weight loss in the beginning, but it is normal for things to slow down over time. But if you're doing alternate day fasting and you're really not seeing that scale budge, look at other things as well before you just assume that alternate day fasting isn't working and throw in the towel. So are you losing inches? You can, I ordered a little measurement tape off of Amazon. I'm sure you can get them anywhere. Just about. Measure your arm circumference, your thigh circumference, if you really want to get down to those measurements. And I think it's important because it helps you see that, hey, maybe I didn't lose 2 pounds in one day, but I can see that at the end of 1 week or 2 weeks, I've lost inches, or at the end of the month, you know, notice that you can fit into your pants a bit better. You can wear the shirt that was a little too tight in the bust area. Like for me, that was a big thing. So it's not always going to be the pounds. Now they do come off. I really do believe ADF is the way. The results follow with consistency. But you know, if you're doing alternate day fasting and you're sticking to those days and you're eating whole healthy foods, start looking at things like getting a bit more movement in. And I like to aim for 10,000 steps minimum. There have been days where I happen to do a tiny bit less if life got busy, but I really like to stick to those 10,000, 12,000. I get sometimes 14,000 plus on the weekends. And trust me, if you're hearing that and you're like, what? I could barely do 5,000 steps starting off. So I gradually worked my way up. The more I fasted, the more weight I lost, the more confident I became. I was able to move because my joints weren't hurting so much. So pick up your movement. So if you're doing your ADF, you're sticking to your days, and you're still not seeing the scale move at all, look at your body measurements. Are you gaining, are you gaining muscle? Are you losing fat around your waist, your bust area, your thighs? Pick up your movement, and not only the steps that I count. I use my Apple Watch and my FitnessPal to track. Start increasing your overall activity is a big one, because a lot of times we spend our day sitting. For many of us, if you have a sedentary job, so we go from sleeping, we get up, then we go to sitting in a car for a long commute, and then we go to sitting at a desk all day, and then we go back to the car, sitting again. And if you go to the gym, then maybe you're doing an hour, give or take there, but then that's really it. And then you're driving home, and then we're laying down and we're sleeping. So, increasing your overall activity throughout the day, the steps, take the stairs if you're at work instead of the escalator, park furthest in the parking lot. Picking up your daily movement that way is a big one that can help you tip the scale and see that progress again. But don't throw in the towel. Losing weight in the beginning pretty quickly is normal, and then over time your body normalizes. Sometimes you have to change it up a bit. Maybe your eating window needs to be adjusted a little bit on your feast days, or maybe what you're eating needs to be looked into. So if you don't track and you're really getting down to the wire and you're seeing that I've been doing ADF and I'm not losing the weight like I expect to. So another big one is looking at what you're putting in on your feast days. Are you eating things that cause a lot of inflammation in the body? Any junk food, any refined sugars? I like to lower my carbs and focus on proteins and fats, and then track. I like to keep it simple. So you just getting through your fast day and starting off is great. Over time, I do recommend to track, because how do you measure the things that you are not tracking? So it can be whatever app you like. Again, I like my FitnessPal. You can see what you're putting in, your macronutrients, including proteins, fats, carbs, and calories. And then it also tracks your steps if you have an Apple Watch that it can integrate with. So start looking at those things, but you don't have to give up. You just have to troubleshoot. But know that if you've seen some fluctuations, you don't panic. And as women too, we go through hormonal fluctuations. So any day can really be different. Maybe one day you're just bloated. I know I tend to get bloated. So if that scale goes up 1 pound, don't panic. If you know you've done what you're supposed to do, it could just be you ate something with a lot of salt. Maybe you're retaining water. If it's closer to, menstruating, then it could be that as well. And so you just troubleshoot and fine tune and go from there. Another big one is I fell off ADF. How do I get back on track? I ended up eating on my fasting day. Now what? Should I fast the next day as well and just double up and do 2 days? I've been there, and oh my God, how it has backfired. So at the end of the day, you are going to do what you want. But I'm just saying from personal experience, there's no messing up. You have to look at what led you to eat and not be able to fast that day. That's really what it's all about. It's not about beating yourself up. Oh, I messed up my fasting day, and then getting discouraged, because that was a big one for me. And when I even tried other weight loss methods, just trying to do everything all at once perfectly. And then the moment I didn't, I started feeling like, oh, I failed at this, or you know what, it's too hard, I'm not doing it. And then you just throw in the towel. So I would say just go ahead and get back on your next fast day, because I find that what happens is if you try to double up, now you miss this fast day. So I'm going to do a 48-hour fast. Now, if you're seasoned, that's a seasoned faster, that's something different. But when you are trying to get the rhythm, the pattern, the consistency with ADF so that you can stick with it, staying with that rhythm is super important. So just jump back on your next fast day. Make that commitment, pencil it in, if you use a fasting app, you set that up. If you have a calendar, and sometimes you just have to step back, pause, assess what led you to break the fast. And sometimes it's not that you don't want to fast, it's that you have some things going on around you. Maybe you have some work stress, maybe you just have some stress at home, just too much going on. I know for me, a big one was having, teenagers and so many people and over the house and friends and demands and laundry and cleaning and cooking and grocery shopping. I can go on and on and on. Dogs, cats. There's so much, and we all have our own unique stressors, and maybe you have some of the same ones I have. So stress and emotional eating can lead to falling off on your fast day. But again, don't beat yourself up. Just assess what led to you breaking your fast, and then you can put a plan in place to say, okay, so when I get home and my kids are, wondering what's for dinner and I'm trying to fast, I don't want to cook anything. That's too tempting, because then it leads me to break my fast, not only from the stress of the demands, but the food is there. So I started preparing food in advance, not only for me, but having leftovers for them. And then they're older now, so they can make quick little things. Get people on board is another one. If you find that it's a struggle and you have family that you trust, they're around you, you share your meals and your time with them, get them on board. If you have children that are old enough to help, get them involved. They can do, things. My children can cook little meals for themselves, or they can warm up those leftovers. That way, I don't have to be tempted with them, at least initially, until you feel comfortable. Now you're fasting, you're energized, it's a breeze, and you're cooking and serving, and you're fine. You're not even tempted by the stuff. But just assess what led to you eating, put a plan in place so next time you have something that you can do instead. So for instance, if I get hungry on a fast day, I'm going to walk straight to my counter and get my water with my electrolytes. And then I'm going to head out to my backyard, put on my relaxation music, and I'm going to walk a couple laps. And then I'm going to just settle down. You don't have to run to the refrigerator just because you have a twinge of hunger. And I know it's tough at first, but it gets easier over time. Another big question: how do I deal with hunger on fasting days? That's a big one. And I'll just say, ride that hunger wave. No, on a serious note, you're gonna be hungry. At least in the beginning, and even sometimes when you're a seasoned faster, depending on your day, your activity level, what stressors are going on around you, what hormonal fluctuations are happening, you can feel hunger. So with starting off with ADF, especially if this is your very first time doing the 36-hour water fast, you will feel hungry. And just know you don't have to panic. If you're overweight, you have a lot of weight to lose, the reality is, you have food on your body. We have food on your body. If you have excess stomach fat, if you have excess, arm fat, the food is there. I know that sounds a bit strange maybe to say, but that's the reality. So our body has the ability to burn the fat, and that's really a big point of fasting, getting into your body's natural fat burning state. So in the beginning, hunger is normal. This is you completing a 36-hour fast, especially if you've never done it before. You're challenging your body in ways that you haven't before. And even though it naturally knows what to do, it wants to burn that fat. It also has most likely sugar to burn through first, especially if you're eating sort of like a diet high in carbs, a standard diet that many of us eat with carbohydrates and the such. So your body, it wants wants to get to that healthy state, but it has a lot of healing and burning through the sugar to do before then. And when you feel those hunger pains, it's your body burning through those sugar stores. Insulin and blood sugars are dipping, and your body is really attempting to now try to tap into your body's own fat stores. So the hunger is going to be normal. And on top of that, a big portion of it is psychological too. So if you're used to eating every few hours or multiple times a day, and now you're not having anything but water or tea and coffee, of course your body's going to be, your mind really is going to be saying, eat, eat. And then that's not even mentioning the stressors around you, the temptations, food in the office, food at home, friends offering you food and, enticing you to eat with them. So it's just a lot of food noise around us, and your body's transitioning from sugar burning to fat burning, and then mental as well. And then there's an emotional component, especially if you're an emotional eater like I was. Just anything stressing me out, I'm going to get a treat for myself. So there's a lot happening. So it's understandable that you're going to feel the hunger, but just know that if you have a lot of weight to lose, the reality is the fuel is right on your body. You have the fuel that your body can burn. So it's just a matter of riding that hunger wave. It literally peaks and then it goes away in a few minutes. For me, it was maybe 20 minutes. If I could just get through that, drink some water with electrolytes, take some breaths, step away from the kitchen, go for a walk with my dogs or go in the backyard. And then before I knew it, my mind was on to the next thing. Get busy, call, your family member, your friend, play with your kids, something to get your mind distracted. So that's going to be the biggest one. Drink your water, your electrolytes help. And of course, listen to your body, because everyone's body is different, but just know you don't have to panic and rush to the refrigerator, because you're going to be okay. As long as you're not feeling like you're going to pass out, very dizzy, you feel that something is just not right, always listen to your body. But the reality is, drink some water, go get busy with something else, stay out of the kitchen if that's what it takes. Don't watch a bunch of food stuff. A big one for me, and on side note, I don't know why, I would watch mukbangs. I have to tell you, that was my guilty pleasure, watching mukbangs. So crazy. But now I can watch them and I don't get tempted or anything, and I don't even watch them as much, but I used to do that. Or, go on YouTube and watch a bunch of shorts about here's what I eat in a day, and, cooking channels. And of course, that's going to torture you when you're fasting. Don't do that. So ride the hunger wave. Just know that it's going to pass. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. A lot of times, you may think that you're hungry, but if you drink a couple of, cups of water, 1-2 cups of water, you'll notice that the hunger pangs go away, and then you get busy with something else. And before you know it, it's bedtime. So another big one, get to bed early. By 9 o'clock, most days, I try to get to sleep. Some days are a little unpredictable, but for the most part, I don't like to compromise on my sleep. I just naturally start getting tired, and I realize that when I am tired, I'm more stressed, I'm more prone to eat or overeat on the next feast day, or feel tempted to not fast because I'm tired. Now my cortisol levels, when you don't sleep, your stress hormone rises, and now I would be stress eating, when in reality, all I needed to do was get to bed on time. So when all else fails, you've done what you needed to do for the day. It's okay to go to bed early. It's even okay to go to bed at 8, 9 o'clock. If you're staying up till 11 and midnight, that's most likely going to impact you the next day if you're trying to fast. So get to bed early. That helps. Okay, last question. Will I lose muscle if I'm fasting? And from personal experience, I've actually gained muscle and lost fat. And you can track this. They have smart scales that you can order on Amazon, or if you go into like a health fitness store that sells equipment, they may have these biometric scales. And so you can stand on there and it'll give you your weight, it'll give you your muscle mass, it'll give you your fat mass. And if you're approaching an age where bone density is a concern for you, and that's a whole other topic, you can also get a bone scan. You can get a body composition scan at a facility. I like to keep it very simple, cost effective, but that's also an option. I can see the tone of my body has actually improved, and I've lost fat of course, the weight on the scale, but the inches, the clothes, the bra size, pants and shirt sizes. With alternate day fasting, you can still do the strength training. And of course, it's recommended as long as you're listening to your body. You can choose to lift weights at a weight that's appropriate for you. You can start incorporating progressive overload. Just lift the weight that makes sense for you. And you don't always have to, do weights. If you're just starting off and you're heavier, sometimes just moving your body, that's enough to start because you have the weight on your body. So you are sort of, facing resistance just with the extra weight. So doing something like a squat, that wouldn't require you to get, 20-pound dumbbells in each hand if you already have a lot of weight on your body. So body weight is strength training. And I also do some body weight exercises. There's tons of channels right here on YouTube. And if there's fitness apps. So there's a lot that you can be doing. Strength training is important to incorporate 2-3 times a day. And the beauty of alternate day fasting is you can fuel up with the protein and the healthy fats on your feast days. And then you can do your strength training. You can really push yourself, whether that's getting some weights, doing some body weight exercises, and then in that way you preserve your muscles. So from personal experience, haven't noticed any muscle loss, but it is important to start incorporating the resistance and the strength training as well over time, but start slow. I didn't start off, lifting all these things, and I'm still working my way up to it, but I do home workouts, and I have some set of weights and body weight exercises. So that is important. And that's, even if you are doing alternate day fasting or whatever lifestyle and eating pattern that you're following, doing the strength training is just part of maintaining your health, your muscle. It helps boost your metabolism. And also as we age, our bone density can be an issue too if you're not doing strength training, especially for us women, and then later in life with osteoporosis and whatnot. So strength training is part of a health routine. All right, well, those are the answers to some of your top ADF questions. And if you have more or you just want to share, drop a comment or emoji down below. I love hearing from you, and I read each and every one. And check out the links in the description box to get your free alternate day starter guide when you sign up for the weekly email newsletter. And you'll also be the first to know when I drop the ADF Ultimate Guidebook, coming to you soon. And if you're just interested in supporting the channel, getting some perks, check out our channel memberships. Whew, all right, that was a lot. Well, until next time, you guys, happy fasting, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.